Hello, History Through Film. This is Miss Corey. Welcome to U3-L1 Intro to Unit 3, World War II. All right, so student learning goals. Students will be able to comprehend the topics we'll be covering in this unit, which is about World War II. Your job, you're going to watch this video, answer any of the questions in blue text directly on the Edpuzzle. All right, so for this unit, this is our very final unit of the semester. So we have two movies we'll be watching. We have Saving Private Ryan, and we have In This Corner of the World. Two very different genres of movie, but yet they both connect with World War II. So Saving Private Ryan. Throughout the lessons, you will see that I have shortened Saving Private Ryan just to SPR. So when you see SPR, it just stands for Saving Private Ryan. It was made in 1998, and here is the synopsis of it from IMDb. So, opening with the Allied invasion of Normandy on the 6th of June, 1944, members of the 2nd Ranger Battalion under Captain Miller fight ashore to secure a beachhead. Amidst the fighting, two brothers are killed in action. Earlier in New Guinea, a third brother is killed in action. Their mother, Mrs. Ryan, is to receive all three of the grave telegrams on the same day. The U.S. Army Chief of Staff, George C. Marshall, is given an opportunity to alleviate some of her grief when he learns of a fourth brother, Private James Ryan, and decides to send out 8 men, Captain Miller, and select members of the 2nd Rangers to find him and bring him back home to his mother. So this movie itself is very, 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 very vaguely based on a true story. It is considered historical fiction. So they're all events that could have happened during World War II, but necessarily did not. Our second movie is In This Corner of the World. It is the one animated movie that we will watch during this course. So you will see throughout the lessons, I have shortened In This Corner of the World to In This Core of the War. I just shortened it a little bit. So this was made in 2016. The synopsis is a spirited 18-year-old woman is married off to a man she barely knows as she combats the daily struggles of living in Hiroshima during World War II. It is not based on a true story, but it is based on stuff that did happen to multiple people. So it uses bits and pieces of real stories and then combines them into this film. So a lot of you are probably like, wow, an animated film. How exciting. Give this film a chance. It's actually pretty good, and it really plays on the emotions of what it was like to be a civilian during World War II. All right, so let's take a look at our schedule for this unit. So here's just the screenshots of the schedule that you'll find on Schoology under the Unit 3 folder. So as you know, we start off with U3-L1, Intro to Unit 3, World War II. Next up, you're going to do U3-L2, Basics of World War II, Part 1. That's a video that I make, just talking about the very basics of World War II. It's going to be the same thing with U3-L3, Basics of World War II, Part 2. I'm just talking more about World War II. And then the same again with U3-L4, Basics of World War II, Part 3, just going over the basics. There's a lot to talk about with World War II, and this just covers the very, very basics, especially for those of you who haven't taken like a U.S. or a world history yet. It's just to kind of give you a base idea of what World War II is all about. Then we have U3-L5, what is D-Day? The movie starts off at D-Day, so that's why I want you to learn what D-Day is. Then we'll do U3-L6, Intro to Saving Private Ryan, or SPR. Then we have Saving Private Ryan, or SPR 0 through 30, 30 through 60, 60 through 90, 90 through 120, 120 through 150, and 150 through 169. Same thing as like all your other videos. I chunk them up into half-hour chunks. Answer the questions on the videos. I think you guys got this by now. All right, and then we have U3-L13, Intro to the Other Side of the War. That is a video that I make, and I talk about like the Japan side of the war. And then U3-L14, Intro to In This Corner of the World. And then we have winter break. And another week of winter break. So when we get back from winter break, we will be doing In This Corner of the World. So you can see I chunked it up again into 30-minute chunks, answer the questions. Then we have U3-L19, Directions for the Unit 3 Summative, and then we also have the Unit 3 Summative. So the Unit 3 Summative is a little bit different than all of your other assignments because it is not due on a Sunday. It is due on Wednesday, January 14th at midnight. Okay, let me repeat that. It is due Wednesday, January 14th at midnight. So for the very last week of the semester here. It's just going to be work time for Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. And at midnight, your Unit 3 summative is due. If you do not turn in your Unit 3 summative by January 14th at midnight, it will be an automatic and permanent 0. I will not be taking any late work. Okay? You need to get it in by January 14th at midnight. And then for January 15th and 16th, I don't have anything scheduled. It's just chill day. I'm sure you all are focused on your other classes. So before I let you continue to U3-L2, let's talk through your summative. I want you to have an idea of your summative so you can mentally prepare for what the content I will be looking for in your summative, and feel free to take notes or write ideas as you go through these lessons. All right, so let's take a look-sees at that, shall we? Dun, 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 dun. There we go. All right, let's do fit the screen. So here's the Unit 3 World War II summative. Directions: you're going to make a podcast / voice recording about Saving Private Ryan and In This Corner of the World. You must include the following in your podcast. Your podcast must be at least 3 minutes long. You must introduce yourself at the beginning of the podcast. You must answer the prompts and questions in complete sentences. Give your opinion on Saving Private Ryan. Did you enjoy the movie? If so, what parts did you enjoy? Did you dislike this movie? If so, what parts did you dislike? You can be very honest with me. If you're like, wow, this movie was awful, tell me that. But you have to tell me why. You can't just be like, oh, this movie was bad because that acting was bad. Like, you can't say that. You got to give me more information, okay? Then you're going to give me your opinion on In This Corner of the World. Did you enjoy the movie? If so, what parts did you enjoy? Did you dislike the movie? If so, what parts did you dislike? Again, make sure you are using specific examples. And then you need to answer the following question in at least 3 complete sentences. So it says, former Prime Minister Great Britain, Neville Chamberlain, said, in war, whichever side may call itself the victor, there are no winners, but all are losers. Even though the Allies overall won World War II and the Axis lost World War II, how do we see loss in Saving Private Ryan? How do we see loss in This Corner of the World? I am looking for specific pieces of information and specific scenes from each of the movies, okay? So when you're watching the movies, definitely keep this question in mind, okay? Then it just tells you how to do submissions and stuff. One big thing is making sure that your audio works. If your audio does not work and I cannot hear you, you are going to get a 0 because that would be really, really depressing. And I have nothing to grade on. And then I give you some tips of how to record audio. I have an example here. And then again, in bold blue text, I say when it is due. All right, sweet. Let's go back to our slideshow real quick. All right, so here's a question for you. When is the summative due? Hopefully you said Wednesday, January 14th at midnight. Will Miss Corey be accepting the summative after January 14th at midnight? The answer to that is no. I will not be. So get it in. So the summative is a podcast, which means I have to record my voice. Should I wait until the last minute to see if my audio works? Yes or no? Hopefully you said no, I should not wait to the last minute, because that would be extremely stressful, and you need to get it fixed. So if my audio doesn't work, what should I do? That's a great question myself. Go to the Chrome Depot to fix it as soon as possible. Typically, the people who are at the Chrome Depot, like the tech helper people, they're pretty good about helping make sure the microphone works, especially say that you are an online student. Sometimes that kind of helps. You can tell Miss Corey ASAP and schedule a meeting or a phone call with her so you can just do it live as well. That's also an option. So just FYI. So let's wrap this up. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Next up, we have U3-L2, Basics of World War II Part 1. It's one of my ed puzzles. You're going to answer the questions on the video, and I won't be grading on what questions you get right or wrong, but make sure that you pay attention because, well, this is a lot of good background information. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.